Week 7, Easter Super Rugby action and a Good Friday fixture at Suncorp Stadium, the home of the Queensland Reds, and they're taking on Aussie rivals, the Brumbies. What a matchup it's going to be. We've got a fine night and a good crowd building up here as well to see if the Reds can kickstart their season again after a terrible 3 weeks on the road. They've got 30,000 members nowadays, and it looks like most of them have turned up. And the Brumbies, of course, they have this wonderful record against the Reds. They've played 18 times. The Brumbies have won 16. The Reds just 2.
Well, the Brumbies on a roll. Stephen Moore's been fantastic. Last week, over 14 tackles he made. Ben Alexander goes from tight head to loose head. In comes Dan Palmer as well. Good solid front row. Power and Carter. Unsung heroes for the Brumbies so far this season. And Leon Power has been sensational, getting across the advantage line. Ben Mowen, leadership group captain, coming down from the Waratahs. Also Peter Kimlin plays his 50th game tonight for the Brumbies. Idavia also moves to flanker. Scrum half, White, Christian Lealiifano. Nick White comes in, he was on the bench last week. McCabe moves back to 12, also with Andrew Smith at outside centre. They'll have their hands full. Aiden Tua and Tapawai for the Reds. And Jesse Mogg is the new Joe Roth for the Brumbies. He's been sensational. So is Joe Tomane and Henry Speight, one to watch out wide.
They have this wonderful record at Suncorp Stadium. The Brumbies have won 4. The Reds still haven't beaten them at this venue. The only win by the Reds at home was way back in 1999 at Ballymore, and of course they also won on the road in Canberra last year. So Jake White is doing a good job with this young Brumbies team. And the Reds, well, it's time now for them to show the Suncorp faithful that they can do it again.
Well, the problems aren't up front. Slipper and Daly have been wonderful this season. All of them made more than 13 tackles last week. Hansen stays there until Saifang is back. These two, on paper, completely superior. Probably the only 2 positions where they're very superior. We all know them. Have a look at this. Bo Robinson and Liam Gill, 2 open side flankers. Will Genia, it's like a game of speed dating. Every weekend he's got a different 5'8". This time it's Sam Lane playing his first game. Tapawai, the one to keep an eye on is Toa. Extraordinary pace at outside centre. Rod Davies, he might think he's a fullback. The coach doesn't agree. Moves Morahan back to fullback. And Shipley, always scoring a try in the last few minutes.
So the Reds are getting set to make their way back out onto Suncorp, and it will be Ben Mowen leading the Brumbies out. Peter Kimler, of course, playing his 50th game as well. And the Brumbies, they're the Australian front runners at present, winning 3 of their 5 games so far, but they haven't won away from Canberra yet, going down to the Chiefs in their only away game in 2012. They've won just 1 of their past 12 away games. It's a terrible stat, but they have an amazing record against the Reds, winning all but 2 games since 1996. Their only loss in Brisbane was in Ballymore in 99. They were the only team to beat the Reds at Suncorp in 2012. They fancy their chances again tonight. They've actually won 13 of the past 14 against the Reds. They've beaten the Highlanders, Cheetahs and Force this year. They had their chances against the Sharks but didn't take them last week. And coach Jake White has made 4 changes to his starting 15. Christian Lealiifano back at 10.
Yeah, Christian Lealiifano back at 10, played 12 last week. Matt Tamua, fly half, out now with a cruciate ligament injury for the season. Well, they upset the Reds here, round 16 last year, 22-14. That man there, Stephen Moore, played for the Reds and moved down to the Brumbies a few years ago. Very pumped up they will be here. Top of the Australian Conference with 18 points. The Reds sit on 13 points.
Aren't they playing some disciplined rugby? I think is the best description of it. Nothing fancy, but they've got the basics covered well.
See Peter Kimlin there, his 50th cap on his jersey. Embroidered there, 6th of April. Great moment for him.
And a big moment for all of these Brumbies, because they are remembering their great friend and teammate, the late Sean Mackay, former Brumbie, passed away exactly 3 years ago to the day. So our thoughts are with the Mackay family and the Brumbies fans. So James Horwell gets set to lead the Reds out. Last year's loss to the Brumbies here at Suncorp ended the Reds' 12-game winning streak at home. Now they're hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak, suffering defeats in Durban, Pretoria and Perth in recent weeks. Will being back at Suncorp restart their season. This is where they've won their last 4 home games and 16 of their past 17 in front of the Queensland faithful. The roar about to go up as the Reds return home. They need to stop leaking points after conceding 133 in their 3 games on tour. And despite being second in the Aussie Conference and 9th overall, they have the worst points for and against in the tournament. They've conceded 20 tries in 6 games already. Sam Lane, number 10, the 4th fly half used so far in 2012.
A great opportunity for Sam Lane, son of Tim Lane, the assistant coach of the '99 World Cup winning team. Spent some time in South Africa with the school over there, came back. Got a call from Ewan McKenzie a couple of weeks ago. Plays for the club side Manly in Sydney. I'm like you, Marto. Aiden Tour at 13, I think that's a really good call as well. He's exciting.
Oh, yeah, if he gets a break, he can finish it off himself. His pace is essentially a winger and fullback, but in and outside centre for his pace. Sam Lane, his old man, of course, Tim, played for the Reds, and Sam's been a lifelong fan of the Reds, so it's a bit magic, even when they were losing games. He'll do most of the kicking, the restarts, the goal kicking this evening, and ball out of hand. Left footer.
Well, Genia, that man needs to stand up tonight.
It's not easy for him, though, Tim. Every time he turns around, he's got a 5'8" playing a different depth.
The referee tonight is Steve Walsh. It's his 73rd Super Rugby game. He's controlled 2 finals over the years. Television match official is Steve Lisinski, and the assistants on the touchlines, Angus Gardner and Rowan Hoffman. Kimlin, will it be double celebrations? His 50th cap. He's the forgotten Wallaby, really. People forget that he is one of the Wallabies for the Brumbies. Normally they just highlights Ben Alexander, Stephen Moore, and also the centre, Pat McKay. But remember, Kimlin has played 2 tests as well. So the Brumbies clearing it through Nick White. It's not out. Come down inside Brumbies territory still. And Luke Morahan is back at fullback. They go to the short side. Hansen. Genia goes in looking for it. Gives it out to Lane. First touch for the youngster on attack. Here's Tua. Beat one and loses the footing.
And the Reds getting numbers to the breakdown. You can see how important it is.
Simmons.
Good early indicator that they went wide, the Reds.
Slipper scored a try last week.
Oh, they were sitting and waiting. Itavaya.
Oh, Brumbies over the ball magnificently.
I think it was Gill that went in and reclaimed it. Now Lane across to Tupper wide, dummies, and has a go. Genia. Now they switch. Short side, Genia. Well, he didn't really know what to do there. Thought about kicking.
Yeah, he ran across field. He cramped his runners. The runners were hitting straight. Gill pick and go.
Saw a lot of that from the youngster last week. Remember the Reds with 2 open side flankers out there tonight. Gill and also Robinson. Now Lane. A good ball out to Davies, and the bounce pass to Shipperley. And Tomane moves up and nails him.
Well, that's well done from Sam Lane.
And Genia driven back to the halfway.
Powerful stuff from Palmer.
Still there, though, for the Reds. They're not really going anywhere at the moment, though.
Well, the Brumbies are coming off their defensive line. They're really eager. They're not committing a great to the breakdown.
Robinson, pick and go. Hansen. Genia to Lane. Onto the left foot, and he goes high.
Oh, that's a pearler of the first kick.
Taken by Speight. White.
Oh, look at this.
Now Mob.
Can he chip and chase again?
Well, he's got one to beat. He tips over the top. It might be too big, although he's flying, but the ball's going to beat everybody over the dead ball line.
Oh, didn't he put the hammer down? Jesse Mogg. He wanted the ball to sit up.
He's so graceful when he's running at top speed, Jesse Mogg. He just burnt Sam Lane after he kicked the ball. He was checked and then went again.
He's got the opportunity to be the next Joe Roth. I know it's only early days for him, but Joe Roth used to go down that touch line, chip over the top. Didn't sit up for him.
And he's one that got away from the Reds.
Let's go back to the pass from Nick White. Yeah, Jesse Mogg played for University of Queensland Colts in Brisbane.
Educated at St Patrick's, where Drew Mitchell attended as well.
He can play. That pass from Nick White, they'd be happy to see him back at halfback.
Didn't he spend some time at Norse as well?
Yeah, Norse Rugby Club.
Lealiifano. Now let's watch the Brumbies to see what they can do. Kimlin. It's popped out for Tapawai, and he's into touch almost in front of Brendan Kennan. Let's go sideline.
Yeah, thanks, Clarkie. Just magnificent conditions here on Easter Friday at Suncorp Stadium for what we've just seen in the opening 3.5 minutes. Some really good, enterprising football from both sides. Good control by the Reds. Great defence by the Brumbies. Really willing defensively, but you can see how dangerous the Brumbies were on counter-attack. It's a great night for football.
And more. They finally come up with the Brumbies. And the high kick from Lealiifano down to Shipley's wing. And he misjudged it. And who wants it? It's there for Stephen Moore. So good field position now for the Brumbies. White. Lealiifano. McCabe taken by Gill, and also Robinson standing over the ball. And they steal it, the Reds.
Bo Robinson got his hands in there.
Charge down. Genia. Took it back into the 22, so Sam Lane will send it down towards the Brumbies 22.
Good thinking, Sam Lane, as it was brought back into behind the 22. Couldn't kick it out on the full.
And now it's Mogg with the high kick. Tomane chasing, and it's there for Shipley. Gathers this one in, floating with the touchline. Simmons, Gill. Mowen went low. Genia,
His holes.
it opens. Oh, and Higginbotham can't control
His hands weren't out. He wasn't ready for Chipper Hansen to have such super skills. Got a surprise when the ball came. You watch, his hands were pointing down, not ready for the ball.
Sorry, I'm allowed to stand somewhere too.
Good defence, though, from the Brumbies. And moving up. Here's the charge down. Ben Mowen getting on top of Will Genia.
Oh, and a falcon in the head.
Hansen, good quick hands. Higginbotham, as you said, Mutto, just wasn't ready. The holes were starting to open.
Yeah, that's what he was checking. If you watched his eyes, he was looking at the hole. Ewan McKenzie, he's had a lot of that the last few weeks.
It's been a big week for the Reds off the field, announcing that they made a surplus of $2 million in 2011. They paid off the debt to the Australian Rugby Union, so they're back in control of their own destiny.
Yeah, that bit's good, but the last 3 weekends, since they were last seen at Suncorp, haven't been great. No overconfidence.
James Hansen here up against Stephen Moore. Rod Davies back on the wing after his couple of games at fullback.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
White with the put in.
Stay down.
Right on halfway. Lealiifano again wanting to play it inside Reds territory. The high kick for Shipley. He takes it.
That's the third time they've targeted Shipley.
They've identified something there in their strategy. Can't put it out on the full. Not much of a chasing game from the Reds.
And Mogg fires it across to Lealiifano. He looks up, he finds plenty of space for the kick. He's going to sit up for Lane.
He'll have to hug,
No angle.
he'll have to hug the touchline here. Sam Lane did well.
So did Lealiifano to get back and cover that. So here's Mogg. Sizing up his options, he goes for the chip. And he's put a little bit too much weight into that one, and it was an easy get for Morahan.
This is where the Reds should be running. Just received the ball, defensive line not set, but they don't.
Rod Davies is giving chase for the kick from Tapawai. Lealiifano gives it up to Speight. And he gets the fend going.
Hayden Tua just got him.
Lealiifano.
You happy, Ryan?
Now Mowen and Moore.
There's room here.
They keep it alive, and this is Kimlin. Peter Kimlin intercepted though, and away goes James Hennon. With the roar of the crowd, they had a few numbers floating around on that occasion.
No
It's all
fullback.
about Genia.
Oh, this is a go here. Robinson and Morahan.
And it sits up for Robinson. No, Morahan got his hands on it first of all, taken by White. Gill trying to catch them back down the short side. He gets it back to his captain, Horwell, inside the 22.
Huge numbers to the left if they can get some ball.
Too slow.
Brumbies did a great job.
Genia sprinting for it.
Wide ball. Out now to Tapper wide. Now he needs support. Troops arrive. It's there for Genia. Robinson. Higginbotham. Genia. To nobody. Chipperley.
Well, he was looking for Sam Lane and went behind him.
Advantage, a penalty advantage coming up for the Reds. Here's Hansen. Higginbotham from the standing start.
Yeah, Genia wanted him to hit that hole. There was a big hole there for Higginbotham.
If they still go left, they've got plenty of options.
Genia gives it to Lane. And the youngster on debut. Goes to ground, will come back. He played advantage, so it's a penalty to the Reds.
He played a log advantage, Steve Walsh. I think it was Henry Speight coming off his feet.
What do you reckon? I think they take the kick for touch. Cano, what would you do here?
Oh, I think the Reds have started in a really promising way. Last week they couldn't get into the game the opening 13 minutes, 15 minutes against the Force. Tonight you can see how willing they are. Bo Robinson on screen there has been carried the ball a number of times with vigour and venom. I think they need to kick for the corner to build the pressure, to keep this momentum.
I think they're going to take the shot. I can see a kicking tee going on. Tough first shot in Super Rugby.
Sam Lane. The Brumbies spacing defensively has been pretty good. They've been backing each other. They're not tight in defence. They're spread right across the field.
They've been scrambling well.
Yeah.
Will Genia has been a little bit off this evening, but I suppose part of it's he's always got a different first receiver.
Well, you thought Bo Robinson was going to pick it up.
Didn't Nick White do well? Defence.
Well, Luke Morahan was the one. He had the pace.
Well, those in South Africa will be very interested to see Sam Lane having the first shot here. He was the captain of the Bishop's first 15, that wonderful rugby nursery in Cape Town. Played with the Western Province. He was a member of the South African under-20 squad last year. And he's hooked this one out to the right. Not happy with his first attempt. So it's still 0-0.
Whilst the kick was not successful, he's been really promising in the opening 10.5 minutes. He's taking the ball to the line, the variety in his play, his kicks, and just his left and right passing. He's been really crisp.
I reckon if you were James Hall, I would have taken the kick for touch. A really wide, low percentage opportunity to kick for goal with a new player on debut.
You'd rather his first kick was an easy one.
So Lealiifano restarts down to Aiden Tour. It's his first game for the year as well, the 13th for the Reds. Injured himself in pre-season.
Rod Davies.
Mogg solid though.
Offside 11.
Penalty.
Offside.
Oh, it's a tough one against Tomane.
No, it's actually the Reds offside.
Rod Davies is called. Yep. Steve Walsh, referee, is saying that Rod Davies was offside.
Yeah, they're killers. When you're on attack defensively and you're really pressuring the opposition, you've just got to make sure you take that air of caution to be half a yard behind the defensive line, not give away easy yards like the Brumbies have just gained with that kick for the corner with the line out to come.
What a kick. Now, I'm not sure he's penalising for being in front of the kick-up. It was at the ruck at the breakdown.
Yeah, no, it was. It was at the ruck at the breakdown. He launched through onto the halfback when he tried to do the clearing kick.
Yes.
The Brumbies have done well first 12 minutes of the game. Just hung in there, weathered the storm.
Line out turnover.
So Genia has it for the Reds inside his own 22. Robinson. Genia back to Lane. It's not out, so Speight will fire it into the centre of the paddock to Mogg. He's got some support out here on the left. This is Tomane. Andrew Smith, the 13th for the Brumbies. Every minute of every game this year. Along with Ben Mowen, his captain, the number 8, is Alexander. coming out of there. So we'll have a scrum about 9 metres inside Reds territory.
Well, Marto, I like the way that the Brumbies, when they're receiving kicks, they go along past centre field to Mog, and then he starts to get options. He can go left or right then, and then they start to get some forward runners off that breakdown. They're starting to back their ability in counter-attack now.
He's getting so good now, Jesse Mogg. He's a threat every time he touches the ball, and his confidence is increasing every week we see him.
Well, the other thing that's a real feature when they go centre field, Tim, is that the guys on the fringes, on the wider side of the field, work really hard to get back behind the ball, so they've got attacking options either way.
The Brumbies, they're missing Matt Tamua, who's out for the season. Robbie Coleman's still on the injured list, but what about the Reds injured? Cooper, Fainga twins, Harris, Hines, Lance, Lucas, Schatz, Wallace Harrison, Digby Ioane still on suspension.
There's a team. There's Quade Cooper running the water, and a bit of advice to Sam Lane. That's who he was just talking to there.
Yeah, he was
on the way past, he's talking to Will Genia.
He'd be the highest paid water boy in the country, wouldn't he?
It's pretty good to have him. They reckon he trained the other day. Well, sorry, I was there. Trained on Wednesday, and he ran the opposed, like the Brumbies side of things. They were impersonating some Brumbies, and he carved up the Reds in defence. I know that's not hard based on the last few weeks, but he's looking all right already.
Crouch. Head and shoulders, please. One, just a fraction, okay? No.
It was his birthday yesterday, I think it was.
Please.
So he's probably about 4 or 5 weeks away from coming back. But Sam Lane, that man there, will benefit greatly from Quade Cooper out there tonight running the water.
Well, Lucas and Harris should be right after the Reds have got a bye next weekend.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
What can the Brumbies do? Tomane, here he goes.
McCabe with that direct running style. Inside ball, Kimlin, 10-metre mark. White finding some runners.
I think it was Christian Lealiifano again. He's really finding some options.
There's Palmer.
Look at the runners they're lining up. Stephen Moore, Kimlin.
Technically very good at the breakdown, the Brumbies.
Is Leon Power, as he born, but played plenty in the ITM Cup in New Zealand. He's had a wonderful start.
Might have been a turnover here, Clarkie.
Well, Liam Gill had it,
No.
just didn't get the support.
Now White to Alexander, throws the dummy. Looked on the inside, didn't have a runner, and he's lost it forward.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Scott Higginbotham got his hands in there on the tackle. Ben Alexander.
Outside the 22.
As we wait for the scrum to be set, I agree with you, Marto. The Brumbies are really clinical at the breakdown. They've got 2 or 3 guys at every breakdown that work really hard, entering correctly behind the gate, or through the gate, over the ball, and good crisp ball for Ian Pryor to get himself involved in the game. Or Nick White. This is Pat McCabe. That's solid defence from Benny Tapua, and Sam Lane just adding a bit of shoulder there. Look at that. There's a lot of feeling in this game early.
Well, Tapua doesn't miss too many, but Pat McCabe won't bother him. He'll just keep coming all night.
Head and shoulders, okay, please. Thank you. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Genia, Davies.
That's an interesting play off the back of the scrum behind the 22. Sets up Sam Lane left foot.
He goes long.
Good length. Might pull up.
Oh, perfectly weighted. And Speight gives it back to Mogg. Plenty of time to bang it into touch off the left foot.
Well, it's a net gain for the Reds. Good play. They worked it to the right-hand side off the scrum to allow Sam Lane a bit more room on the left-hand side of the field with his left foot. Five-man line out. Bo Robinson out behind Ben Tapawai.
One by Higginbotham, Genia. Here's Lane showing it, now giving it to Robinson. Taken by Idavaya. Lane again. Inside ball. Tackle ball and all from Power on Davies. His slipper scored a try last week, his first in Super Rugby. Out it goes to Shipley. He needs more space than that.
Just a bit flat-footed, the Reds forwards runners at the moment. They're getting picked off.
Please, Captain.
They're going to the short side. Gill.
Brumbies reading the Reds' attack really well. They're defending nicely.
Is Robinson to Lane. Inside, Davies. And he just ran into his own man. So, yeah, there were 3 players standing out to the left, but
That's one of the problems. A new fly half, new outside centre for the Reds. Rod Davies back to the wing. It's just not quite gelling in attack.
Yeah, well, James Horwell was standing. They didn't expect Rod Davies to be back inside of Sam Lane. There it was there. Usually they go 2 passes when Bo Robinson throws behind the decoy players to the second receiver.
Yeah, just their timing and attack in phase plays just slightly off. They're hitting the runners flat-footed, which is allowing this really fast, aggressive Brumbies defence to get up and smother the Reds.
Touch. Pause. Engage. Stop, mate. Great work.
Again, they've gone to Shipley's wing, the Brumbies, when they're kicking.
Luke Morahan.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that'll do. Ben Mowen had to let that go.
That flew directly over the top of me, and that was the ugliest kick you've ever seen. It had hairs all over it, but it has given them a net gain of some 40 to 50 metres. A great kick from Luke Morahan.
Good to see the Brumbies, though, that you don't see any panic, do you, Marto, at this time of the game? And, you know, they hadn't had a lot of the ball. Possession-wise, the Reds have had over 60%.
Not a great kick from White. The box kick went straight up in the air, and Genia leaps high, went backwards off him. And now Shipley. Lane. Inside ball, Tapper wide. Beat 1. Horwell.
Genia's going to come back to the right now. He needs some numbers.
Couple of forwards defending out this side.
Lane had to go on his own.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Vio was over the top.
Number headgear, I think it's 1. Yeah,
Ben
stay up,
Daly.
okay.
Sam Lane was isolated.
Got a position too low there.
If you're going to be like that, you're going to have to stay on your feet for a bit longer than that.
He did well, but he looked outside. He only had 2 players to his right-hand side. Brumbies did well to scramble in defence.
Oh, nice kick.
Line out on the 22, Reds territory with the Brumbies put in. These 2 teams tonight playing for the Rod McQueen Cup in a home and away fixture, so the Reds have got to win this one and the next clash in Canberra if they're going to regain it.
Ben Mowen again. 9 line-out wins last week, Mowen. He's their go-to man at the back of the line-out.
Started his career with the Reds. I think he had 1 cap before moving to the Waratahs. Penalty against the attacking team.
So he gets one back. Ben Daly was over the ball. Gave away the penalty 60 metres down.
Feet in the contest.
He won that battle, and it was quite obvious. He was hands on ball, just waiting for the referee to blow it up. So
Yeah.
Ben Alexander, Liam Gill tackles low. Daly moves into the situation, comes over the top.
I think it was Leon Power too going over the ball.
There's a mistake. They didn't put it out from the penalty kick. So a let off there for the Brumbies, and Mogg runs it back. We're past the 20-minute mark, and for the 3rd week in a row, the Reds haven't been able to score a point in the opening quarter.
There's a fierce battle at that breakdown. Reds can sniff blood in the water.
They'll get the put in as the crowd roars.
Well, they piled in. Idavaya not happy. It was a tackle centre field from Liam Gill.
There's a greater sense of urgency about the Reds tonight in what they're trying to do. They looked really lacklustre and fatigued last week against the Force, but compare this opening 21 minutes. They have a spring in their step. They're proud to be back at Suncorp, where they've had so much success in recent times, and that was a great contest and indicative of the attitude the Reds have brought to this opening first half.
Pat on the back for the Brumbies as well, though, because they haven't panicked, and the Reds have struggled to get anything really happening inside the Brumbies 22.
The Brumbies' defensive structure has certainly held.
Pause. Engage. Go.
Genia to Lane. Tapper wide, straightens. Genia. Power did well.
She's been caught a lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Offside.
Genia.
Well, this one should be kickable. It's right in front.
Offside.
Might be time to have a breather and have a shot again.
Well, it was good play from Ben Tapperwhite. Looked like the move was going to go wide. Shade got across the advantage line and set the play up, but Genia not getting the protection that he's used to. Last year he had so much time. Was frustrated last week against the Western Force. He wants his forwards to get there and do their job early so he can create that quick ball.
We know he's missing not having Quade Cooper there, but he has some pretty good stats, though. He's leading the competition going into week 7 for line break assists. And Lane. Looking for a confidence boost.
Oh, that's missed.
And he's put this one out to the left. So maybe some nerves for the youngster. I think from memory he's about the 6th goal kicker they've used in 2012.
Not good for the psychology of the team either.
No, he's only 21, Sam Lane. Such a young backline for the Reds. Davies 22. Shipley 21. Morahan 21.
Tour 22.
Yep.
And a 19-year-old on the bench, Frisbee. The high ball from Genia. Davies getting through and chasing, and again Jesse Mogg did very well indeed under the high ball.
Come loose.
But they've stolen it, and Tapper wide. On the inside it goes to Davies. Did he get it down? In fact, it's not. It's Higginbotham.
Oh, they'll go upstairs.
That's a miracle if he's gotten that ball down. Check out his expression as he goes back.
No try, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Up to the television match official. Well, Mogg did very well to claim it, and then they turned it over.
Well, I think it was Bo Robertson that came in and it just spat out to the left-hand side. Tapperwhite did well. Joey Tomane came across. Good hit back inside. Higginbotham's got it. He's only got one player, Nick White, to contend with. Hit and spin and turn, and does he stay in field?
See where his bum sits? No, that's all right. That's all right. That's...
Left elbow does it touch the line first.
Close. Don't worry about the corner post. Inconsequential. It's to the line. That's what we're checking on. Whether his arm has gotten the line. Everything's fine from this side.
It's good work, Nick White, to be able to cover across and get back there.
Shit, that's it. The left shoulder and just left elbow. Watch there.
I've got really.
Left shoulder not out yet. It's got to be on the ground. Elbow, is that out?
I think it is.
I reckon that's out. That's no try.
Maybe they need to give us half a metre because they're tight.
I'd say his left elbow's touched the chalk before he's put the ball to ground.
Yep.
Walshy,
Yes, George.
you may award the try.
Oh.
Is that all right?
Yeah, Walshy, you happy with the way they're rolling away?
Try given.
That's got to be benefit of the doubt.
Scott Higginbotham, he did well to be over there on the wing.
Benefit of the home stadium, I think, maybe.
Ooh.
So it's not the tackler that's not rolling, it's the guy.
It was good play down the left-hand side, though. Henry Speight came across and put a lovely hit on Ben Tapperwhite.
Tapperwhite did pretty well. You saw the surprise on Higginbotham's face. Well, here was Mogg, did a super job to get above Davies.
Was Bo Robinson there?
Got it out. Actually, Davies did well again there, and then Tapperwhite. That ball there is a beauty. Higginbotham, extreme skill to take it and then to swivel in the tackle and score.
Ewan McKenzie pretty happy with that as well. A sigh of relief there. So Higginbotham scores his second try for the year, his 14th for his career. And Lane, that's better for the youngster.
Oh, he nails the hardest one.
That's got the crowd away from the Good Friday. Quite incredible crowd. The Reds have never played on a Good Friday. Had no idea whether there was anyone still in town, but there's plenty here tonight.
7-0 Reds over the Brumbies. 26th minute.
Well, they've obviously awarded that in one motion, Marto. Ball going down at the same time.
Instantaneous, I guess so.
As against the play for the Brumbies. Jesse Mogg did extremely well.
Higginbotham to Genia. Tapawai rushed the kick.
That was so close to a charge down there. Lealiifano.
Yeah, the 10 fires it over to Mogg. Short stab there into touch from Nick White.
Yeah, good little settling play there from Nick White. The Brumbies don't need to take or to lose hard here. They've been really solid in the opening 25 minutes, and that was just a good amount of luck that went the Reds' way. Great work from Scott Higginbotham to stay in and get the benefit of the doubt, with George Ayoub, the 4th match official, awarding the try.
Oh, just over the top of James Horwell. Ben Mowen scoops it.
Oh, that's nice.
Chance for the Brumbies to hit back. But stolen there from Gill. And the penalty goes against the Brumbies.
Right, let's discuss this.
Genia goes.
After this.
And he gets it out to Rod Davies.
Ship and chase. Oh, it was on.
And now he throws it away into the hands of Moore.
Very loose from the Reds.
Oh, Rod Davies, he was looking to put a kick ahead. There was no one home.
Sam Carter takes it forward now, a settling run. White, Kimlin. White again. Inside ball, good work, Ben Alexander in support. Power. Tua makes the tackle.
Nick White's doing well. He's getting to the breakdown very quickly and creating quick ball.
Niedervaya goes to ground. White gives it to McCabe. Gill right over the top of him. There for White. Kimlin.
Brumbies going about their work pretty nicely.
Mowen. 10-metre mark. Mogg. Now this is Tomane.
Gee, the Reds are challenging at every breakdown.
Yeah, James Hansen did really well there.
Turnover.
I was just going to say the Brumbies have been patient.
Morahan goes high, and he's the only chaser. And it goes backwards. Morahan picks it up.
This is where they need to go wide left. Too late.
Robinson. Lane as well. The chip ahead by the fly half, and oh, he keeps it on the toe. Davies! Inside it goes, and Higginbotham has got a double, and he's got to run it around. This is like the Reds of old. The Reds of the ball going their way, but they're making it happen at Suncorp.
Higginbotham will want to lurk on that left wing all night. He's received another pass for a try. It was a lot easier this one. Sam Lane, talk about backing yourself, Tim Horan.
Oh, he could see the space behind Sam Lane, and there wasn't much on. And then it didn't chip back up into his hands. This was earlier on, the turnover.
Morahan, one hand.
He scooped it and gone. Sam Lane, he looked up, he was going to go wide. Little chip over the top. Kimlin was going back for it. He just got his left foot to it, Sam Lane, and it sat up for Rod Davies. And Davies did really well. Just threw it. Hail Mary pass back into Higginbotham. Try number 2 for Higginbotham and the Reds.
Davies had to throw something in the end. It was a backhander. He knew he had 3 players in support. He just needed to get it into the air before he was barreled into touch. Geez, I thought Davies, when he took the ball, that acceleration, I thought he was going to beat McCabe. He came again at him, and Higginbotham benefits.
Once again, another turnover for the Brumbies from a kick receive. Sam Lane adds the extras. It was waiting for it to sit up, Sam Lane. It was really good work from him not to try and pick the ball up. Rod Davies will say he knew Higginbotham was there, but he just threw it as he was going out.
15th try in his career, 3rd for the season. Scott Higginbotham, number 8 for the first time this year. He's had 6 on his back in the previous rounds. And Craig Cooper, nothing wrong with the knee. He's jumping about on the sideline.
Something in the water. Higginbotham, he's been one of the few shining lights for the Reds, their best player all season.
Reds 14-0. That's giving them a bit of breathing space, Keno.
Yeah, it certainly has, Clarkie, but the Brumbies have just got to stay strong to their their strategy and their game plan to date. Just a bit of luck has gone the Reds' way that's given them that 14-point buffer.
And tap away. Getting it down to Mowen. Lealiifano.
That's class. Might not make it.
Oh, you could see Luke Monahan covering across there.
Oh, that's a disaster. Here come the Brumbies.
He wasn't sure whether to let it bounce or to put the foot down and try and catch it on the full. Good work from Christian Lealiifano playing the ball down that end of the park. The Brumbies need to come away with some points. Less than 10 minutes to go before half-time.
Stephen Moore.
I'm backing this will go to Vaya.
And here he is, the man with 7 on his back.
You know, in 24 minutes last week, he made 16 runs. Here comes Moore.
Well, they've got Michael Hooper sitting on the bench, still the Brumbies.
Now here's White, Lealiifano, taken by Higginbotham. So some pressure on the Reds' defensive line now. Kimlin, oh, he can't control it.
They need to run here. No.
No advantage, so we'll come back for the knock forward. There will be a scrum.
Yeah, just as I was about to say, the Brumbies need to have some patience and build the pressure and work through the phases. Just some poor skill execution there. A very low pass towards Peter Kilman's shins from Nick White. Just made him cough that ball up. But I was going to say, Marto, it's interesting to note that Jake White hasn't gone with Michael Hooper to challenge for Liam Gill and also Bo Robinson in the opening half of this game.
Well, I think also, Cano, that the Brumbies look like they're playing a really close game plan early on this first 40 minutes, and that's why they've picked Itavaya at number 7 and potentially bring Hooper on when the game opens up. But
yeah, I think they were going to punish the Reds. We're talking about he was only on for 24 minutes last week, Vaya, when he made 16 runs. They wanted more of that. Hasn't happened yet.
Genia into touch. So an opportunity for the Brumbies to have another crack here. Over 30 metres out from the Reds line. 14-0, the home team. 2 converted tries to none.
Tomane there. Back in the starting team. Been very impressed by him this season. Ben Mowen proved to be a good leader.
46.
Mowen again. Simmons gets in front.
So the Reds have it. And Gill. Get away from Kimlin. Taken by Carter. In his lane.
Bit long.
Mogg. On the left foot.
Some room here.
Larahan.
Yeah, have a run.
And he ran into Itavaya. Thrown into the turf. Mogg.
He's isolated here. Has to be good to get this back. Jesse Mogg.
Reds going off their feet.
Both of you guys.
It was
1 and 2.
Yeah, it was good work from Ben Daly and James Hansen there to get up there defensively and put some pressure on, but they fell immediately as they made tackle and contact with Jesse Mogg. Chipper Hansen there on screen has had a really promising 35 minutes of this first half.
Oh, Nick White has thumped that a mile as well.
He's done 3 or 4 like that, hasn't he? Now this line out, Ben Mowen, the captain, they've gone to him. He's called himself the last 2 or 3 times, and the Reds are starting to read the Brumbies line out throws.
Carter with the win. Down to White. Went backwards. Lealiifano. Kimlin. Through one. And that's gone forward.
He needed to run it off his shoulder, Peter Kimlin.
His last 2 running opportunities have resulted in knock forwards and turnover of ball.
I think it's reminiscent of the last 10 minutes last week for the Brumbies against the Sharks. When the Sharks looked to be out on their feet, the Brumbies just didn't have enough patience and the execution was poor.
Well, you hold that pass for another second, and there was 3 players to pop it off the ground to Peter Kimlin, but he's done really well. He's made 2 or 3 half breaks.
Yeah, that would look dangerous.
What happens, I will end up making decisions to stay up. Yeah.
Scrum 25 metres out.
been a good battle tonight up front. The scrums have been really clean, good engagements. Steve Walsh, the referee's been very good in his management of them. And both sides are really willing, trying to put as much pressure as they can on each other's attacking ball.
Pause. Engage.
James Slipper under enormous pressure on this side of the field.
Lane.
Stop. 7.
It's not out. Mogg running onto it.
That's a tackle from Aidan Toa. It didn't fall for the dummy, because that's what he does do well. Throws the dummy, then slides through gaps, Jesse Mogg.
Well, it was the right idea. He was just looking for Joey Tomane. Couldn't get back onside quick enough.
I'm still not convinced the Reds have got the right tactics by kicking too much to Mogg. He's pretty safe.
Hansen. Sloppy, but they come away with it. Slap down from Simmons into the arms of Higginbotham. Lane. High kick will come down around about the halfway. Allowed to bounce, and it pops up for Higginbotham. Gets it out to Moore, onto Alexander.
Lealiifano wants it straight away.
Brumbies have been averaging about 4 penalty goals a match.
Well,
Speight opportunity here. Can they get some points before half-time?
Yeah, Speight had some room on the right wing. He was screaming for it. Turnover now, Reds. Genia.
And kicking ahead for Shipley's wing. And it's going to stay in field for Tomane. And then Mogg.
Oh, and goes with the torpedo punt, makes another 30. Tomane showed calmness under extreme pressure from Shipley as he chased through. Nice work for the fullback to help his winger.
Both Genia, both Genia and Sam Lane kicking a lot more than the Reds have the last couple of weeks. And talking to you and Mackenzie before the game, saying that the Reds were one of the highest percentage kicking teams last year, and they haven't kicked as much as what they wanted to this season so far. Kicking for field position.
Good area to mount an attack. Up to the 22 they go. Backs are lined up, but the forwards want to rumble.
Stephen Moore's on the ball there.
Now it goes to Genia. Lane cutting out, and he gets it to Shipley. Morahan, Davies. Plenty of cover over there from the Brumbies. Genia, Tapawai. Short side. Genia, Tua. And the Brumbies do, well, I thought they were going to get away with it, but no.
Well, Nick White, the ruck had formed. A really good tackle
From the ruck.
from Pat McCabe. And Nathan Tua.
14 up. Do you take the 5-metre line out, bang, and have a crack at going through the forwards?
Oh, a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, come on, Will Genia. Show some fortitude. And he does. Crowd loves it.
Yeah, the Reds line-out's been functioning really well tonight, and any time you get into a position like this, you really want to give your forwards the chance to rumble it towards the try line to get some great reward for a very promising 40 minutes of football.
They've started to get some momentum the last 3 or 4 minutes, the Reds forwards.
What's the turnover so far that have cost the Brumbies in the first 40 minutes?
Higginbotham gives it immediately to Simmons. And now Hansen has it trapped under his wing. They're rumbling towards the line, the Reds.
Udavaya did well.
Horwell waits for it at the back. Hansen. Here's the shove. Held up.
Good defence, the Brumbies. They were tight, close to the breakdown. Their pillars were getting underneath the ball.
Well, this is the last scrum to come from this. Obviously, the referee could tell. Yeah, it was off the ground. Nick White's under it nicely.
Yeah, James Slipper here, the Queensland Reds tight end with number 3 on his back, will really need to launch himself into the scrum engagement. Benny Alexander in the last couple of scrums has just gotten the better of him and has really managed to work his way through, slip James Slipper to his left and go straight through into James Hansen, the Reds hooker. So James Slipper really needs to make sure he controls Benny Alexander and launch a solid Red scrum for an attacking raid.
Reds lead 14-0. Can the Brumbies hold them out? Last play of the first half at Suncorp. Genia out to Tua. It's gone backwards and it's been cleaned up. It's playing advantage for the Brumbies.
Yeah, it was a good hit from Christian Lealiifano.
So the Brumbies did well to manage that onslaught from the Reds. But a try to Higginbotham early on, converted by Lane, and then a double to Higginbotham, another conversion by Lane. And it is the Reds leading the Brumbies at half-time by 14 points to 0. We saw Samo on there, and our thoughts are with his family and friends in the Fijian village of Narewa, which has been wiped out by the floods in recent times. And the Reds are going to be raising money for the Fijian flood victims before too long. They're going to have the Radiki Samo save the fro. They're going to set a figure, and if they raise that figure, he won't have to get the locks cut off.
It would be a tragedy to lose those. He's on for Higginbotham, who's probably in the bin. Here come the Brumbies.
So it's McCabe.
In the blood bin, Higginbotham.
Idavaya. 10-metre mark, Reds territory.
Brumbies still using their forward runners as they did in the first 40 minutes, staying close and testing the Reds' defence out close to the breakdown.
Jake White was getting stuck into them in the dressing rooms at half-time.
Oh, wasn't he, Amino?
Back to the basics.
Palmer. Idavaya again.
Still no sign of Michael Hooper. Sitting on the bench, Idavaya in the number 7 jersey.
Nothing fancy at the moment, just keeping it tight. Kimlin losing it.
Third one of the night.
Yeah, Ben Daly again.
Tomane back to Mob.
That was taken back into the 22. Will be coming back.
Not the start they were looking for, the Brumbies, coughing up the ball and then out on the full.
It's playing what they've been talking about in the dressing room at half-time. Get back to the basics, show our discipline, reduce the defence, get them tired, but in the end, Kimlin again knocked forward.
Corwell wins it for the Reds. Here's Lane, Shipley, 7 and 8 waiting for him. Via and also Mowen. That's the 22. Lane bounced out of one. Can't get away from McCabe.
Here's a go.
Robinson and Hansen can't control it. It's there for Slipper. And they'll come back.
Spectator try.
James Hansen just couldn't hold it. Just those little passes they were sticking this time last year for the Reds.
Yeah, just from a timing perspective, you can see Bo Robinson working through the gap, just looking for that offload to James Hansen, who just couldn't get his hands on the ball cleanly as it fell behind him.
He's just starting to hit some really good lines, Bo Robinson.
See Sam Lane twice in that in those phases, turning the ball back on the inside. Once he went on his own and dummied on the inside. The other one he gave it. They're trying to compress the defence before they go wide again, the Reds.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Owen to White. Puts it into touch. Scott Higginbotham on the bench after receiving some treatment to a head wound.
Yeah, he's got the benefit of another 7 or so minutes before he needs to come back on. But a handy replacement in Radiki Samo.
Try and get this ball off the top of the Reds. Use Bo Robinson centre field.
Lane. Tap away. Tour.
Andrew Smith, lovely tackle coming out of the line.
Rushed up. Shut down the movement. Now Genia.
He's kicking a lot more like that tonight. Will Genia, box kicks.
Mogg.
Hey, you stumped that, is that it? Kept it in.
And it's into touch.
The Brumbies will play on, you'd think. A lovely kick from Will Genia, one of the best of his for the season.
There's a greater sense of purpose in the way the Reds are kicking tonight. They have been guilty of some aimless kicking in their last number of games. But tonight, there's a greater sense of purpose and strategic element about it. Kicking for the corners, keeping the pressure on the Brumbies.
It's White. Shipley to Morahan. Oh, over the head of Morahan and Kimlin and Vaya come up and make the tackle.
This is where you get penalised. Now they've got the ball back. So they can actually put this one out because despite they took the ball back in, but now there's been a ruck, so you can now throw it into touch on the full. But he doesn't.
The Brumbies have got to play. That's better.
And away goes Lealiifano. Up to the 22. Desperate for some points now, the Brumbies. Kimlin. And the Reds have been so much better at the breakdown compared to recent weeks.
Well, the way the Brumbies have won their games in Super Rugby has been playing with some width. They're playing a lot closer within the channel. 15-metre channel either side of the ruck and the breakdown at the moment. I'd like to see them start to open up and go a bit wider, Mano.
Remember that winning. Oh, this man. It was no fault of Lealiifano. He's been their best player all season. Look how durable he is within the tackle.
Straight through Aiden Toa.
That's not a bad effort. We saw Toa pull off a mighty hit in the first half. Their ball security at the breakdown's good, but the Reds are working a lot harder.
I agree, Tim, that the Brumbies are playing very narrow. I mean, at what point does Coach Jake White and his coaching staff make the decision to go wider and forget about this game plan that they're going very narrow at the moment?
Well, I think as soon as Michael Hooper comes on, they'll start to go wide, but you've got to start pulling the trigger.
Will Genia there on screen. What about the promotion from the Australian Rugby Union and the Queensland Rugby Union in association with the IRB and the Australian government? They've got this program called Pacific and Union, and for the last few days of the Easter break, we've got Will Genia going to Papua New Guinea, Digby Ioane and Ben Tapawai to Samoa, Radiki Samoa is going to the Solomon Islands, and they're going to be working with schools and coaches, administrators, referees. So it's a wonderful initiative.
It's their bye week, of course, this week coming up for the Reds. Have a look at Quade Cooper there having a chat to Sam Lane. You can see the words here coming back. Yeah, obviously Quade's going, yeah, straighten them up before you go wide.
Got to remember that 35% of the Australian Super Rugby teams are of Pacific Island heritage, so the IRB and the ARU, the Australian government, working in tandem to try and put something back into sport in the Pacific nations.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Really good opportunity for the Brumbies here. Speight's gone across to the left-hand side in behind Christian Lealiifano. You see him walking around, the white boots on.
Who's winning the battle of the scrums, Brendan?
Oh, I'd like to say I think the Brumbies are getting a slight edge, but that scrum would question that statement. But it does appear it's really willing. Steve Walsh has been great in his management of it, and they've been good, clean scrum engagements tonight. Both sides willing to have a crack at each other and put as much pressure as they can. But this is a good opportunity for the Brumbies to get a really good, solid engagement, a good platform for an attacking raid.
Pause.
Went a bit too early, the Brumbies, in engagement.
No, 6 back.
So Genia goes high. Speight got away from one. Kicking, but right into the arms of Genia. Out to Morahan. He goes high. Mogg coming forward.
Good
Well,
play,
to get
Jesse
it away
Mogg.
to Lealiifano up over halfway.
That go forward.
Yep. He just tried to pop it off the ground. Christian Lealiifano was half through. Jesse Mogg take on the run and passing as he was getting tackled.
He almost got through this, Lealiifano. Yeah, ball just ripped out. Liam Gill got a little hand in there.
He's trying to spark something, though, Christian Lealiifano. He knows how important it is when you're down 14-0. You've got to be first to score. Whether it's a penalty or whether it's a try. You've got to spark something. You can't just wait for it to happen.
Turnovers conceded by the Brumbies, now up to 17. So that's where they've been making. That's been the Reds' problem the last few weeks, making a lot of handling errors and turnovers. Tonight it's the Brumbies.
Well, you can't build any momentum when you're just giving the ball back like that.
Here's a penalty to the Reds, and well, they've kicked a lot more, the Reds, and they've been able to keep the Brumbies out of their 22.
Removing his bind straight in on the angle.
Yeah, so Dan Palmer, the Brumbies tight head, penalised there for slipping his bind and just sliding straight in onto the Reds hooker, James Hansen.
Lane finds touch.
Keno, you're not far away from Quade Cooper where he's standing. I just saw him yelling out again. It's had him prowling around the whole time with instructions?
Yeah, no, he is. He's constantly got voice. And I mean, it's a great way for him to get back into getting ready to play football, having his rugby brain on. But it's just beneficial for Sam Lane to have a guy like Quade there helping him.
Rob Simmons did well the line out.
Well, the fans start the roar. We are red. Palmer and Daly having a bit of a set to. Now the punches are being thrown, and it's on. The heavyweights. That's Suncorp.
Now they've come from everywhere. Nick White's come in.
There's been a lot of frustration for the Brumbies, so I think they wanted something like this. Maybe that'll spark them.
Well, Palmer and Daly were eyeballing each other, push and shove for about 5 seconds.
They actually landed a couple, I think.
It was almost a Mexican standoff. You go, no, you go, no, you go.
You be the first.
Oh, there's one to the midriff from Palmer.
Punching each other in the tummy.
I'll tell you what I've got.
There's no way Ben Daly would have felt that.
Into the belly and then the other guy going on. So I'm penalising 3 white, cautioning red. I mean, just talking to him. Yes. You think anything other than that? I'm happy not to go cards at this stage. Yeah. Rightio.
Yeah, good call, Steve Walsh.
Good refereeing.
Yeah, you're going to win the penalty. Who was involved?
Who started?
Yeah. I agree. That's why you got the penalty. Okay? No. Right.
Yeah.
Just keep cool though, right? Yeah. Benny, he threw the first one. Penalty against him. Keep the discipline on your boys.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? Yeah, stay with it.
A good referee, Steve Walsh. No yellow card.
Oh, thank goodness. Could have gone a white card just to see that at the make the judicial officer watch some funny punching.
Dan Palmer there, the son of Peter Palmer, the former Waratah hooker, the fiery hooker from the early 80s. Bringing a bit of spark into the game. You can see it, just a bit of a Mexican standoff, and he's throwing one into the abdomen. And then they're just slapping each other.
Nothing else connected, did it?
Oh, and there's serious mayday happening there with Dan Palmer's shirt being up.
Well, Nick White's come in for the tackle. Will that go down on his stats?
I think there's a few stats that have been ticked into the positive territory there. Sam Lane with a chance to build on this lead for the Reds.
So, Keno, the mayday call is if the props jersey gets pulled up. Is that the go?
Just stop fighting.
No,
Somebody
no.
pull my jersey down.
If there's any midriff skin gets exposed when the jersey's up.
Very good penalty from the youngster Lane, who's been impressive on debut.
He missed his first couple. Missed one from out wide, then missed one in front of the post. Now he's a bit more relaxed with a smile on his face. Brumbies have got to play 30 minutes left in the game. They've got to pull the trigger and start to get some width in their game.
Oh, one try will get the Reds twitchy, don't you worry, when you're in the middle of a 3 to 4 game losing streak. One try is all it'll take.
More to the 22, or almost. Plenty of time left for the Brumbies, but they just have to get back into the rhythm we've seen from them at Canberra this year. this woeful away record.
Look at them now, they're really bunched. You throw a blanket over 14 players, there they all are. Playing in a tight channel, forward runners all the time.
Penalty to the Brumbies.
Out of the tackle zone, quicker.
Well, the Brumbies got a kick for the corners. You see Scotty Higginbotham getting ready to come back on. You would suspect that probably Beau Robinson or Liam Gill will come off, and they'll keep Lealiifano on.
Brumbies 1 from their last 12 on the road, and I think they're going to have a shot here. Take the point, so obviously they're not panicking. They realise there's plenty of time.
Then he's come in and pulled it up.
Okay, but a collapse small, you're still allowed to play it. But if he was a tackle, I got it wrong. But if it's collapse small, he's okay. Hey, just my question. What I want to talk to you about is your tackler taking a moment to move, and then it allows your 7 to get in and latch on it. Okay, so I want your tackler out of the tackle zone. Yep.
Really like it the way that Steve Walsh, he's good mates with a lot of the players, and the players respect that. Explain to the guys, he's actually giving them a bit of time, not too much.
16 points last week, Lealiifano. He's playing his best rugby of his career this year. 13 runs last week, 7 tackle busts.
Well, he's got to shoulder a lot more now that Matt Tumua is out for the season with a knee injury.
Michael Hooper about to come on.
Lealiifano
Missed it.
It's out to the left, so it's still 17 points to nil.
And Michael Hooper getting ready on the sideline in number 19.
He's been twitching up and down for the last 10 minutes, itching to get into the action.
I bet.
Scotty Higginbotham's actually going to come on for Lealiifano. So obviously Ewan McKenzie's really happy and impressed with the work Beau Robinson and Liam Gill are doing at the breakdown.
Oh, they've been outstanding. And that's why Hooper will level things up there.
Oh, good run, Ben Mowen.
Moore puts it out to McCabe, spins out of 1.
Stolen. James Horwell.
Reds have it. Couple of metres from halfway. Genia
No, that's not the kick after a turnover.
taken by Tomane. Scored a double against the Highlanders in his debut run on, and through goes Tomane. McCabe. Lealiifano. Mog up from fullback. Lane intercepting and then couldn't quite control it. Went backwards, and Genia fires a long one out now to Tua onto the left foot.
Oh.
Back, guys.
That's been carried back in. That's poor play from the Reds. They've got to be able to communicate from one side of the field to the other.
And they're the times, Marto, that you miss Quade Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, well, he would have beaten 3 players on his way out. Well, this is from Will Genia's fairly ordinary kick to Tomane. Not getting any ball in attack. Thought, oh, I've got to make the most of my chance. Finally, it comes to Samoa.
He's hardly had the ball in his hand, Joe Tomane.
And he's so strong in attack.
He needs some space.
Dan Palmer replaced by the Irishman, Rory Murphy. Samo is off, so Higginbotham back from the blood bin, and the bounce was good for the Brumbies. So, can they find some points here inside the Reds' 22? Quite a rare visit into that territory.
Well, I start to go wide now. Michael Hooper's on.
And he's stolen the ball, Gill, and it's a penalty, though. Well, they can take the 3 right in front now.
Well, if they did it 2 minutes ago, they'll do it again. Now Walsh wants to talk again.
Because, you know, I'm now upgrading. What I've just spoken about, okay?
Okay.
Tackler
So
rolling out of there. Yep.
Yeah, he communicates really well with the players, Steve Walsh, and like you said, Tim, he does know a lot of them on a personal level, which can be a bit of a disadvantage at times, but tonight Steve Walsh has really effectively communicated with all players.
Step is? Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
One more of those. That's a problem for the Reds because they've been turning over plenty of ball. Now they're 2 flankers. Beau Robinson and Liam Gill have got to be very careful. If it happens again, the tackler doesn't roll away and then they grab one, there'll be a yellow card.
Gee, he's been good tonight, Beau Robinson. He's just straightened the attack up. And Will Genia really likes playing with him because he knows he's always going to be coming around the corner.
You know what? He's another player that's really had problems adjusting without Quade Cooper. I know that's strange for an open-side flanker.
Lealiifano from in front. So at long last, the Brumbies are on the score sheet. 17 points to 3. Keeping their faint hopes alive.
And Nick Frisbee's coming on for Aiden Tua.
The Tua seemed to hurt his left leg after kicking the ball into touch a minute or two ago. Kimlin coming off as well, so his 50th appearance is over for the Brumbies.
The Reds every game this year only carry 2 back reserves, so Frisbee, the reserve halfback, goes out to the right wing.
He can play anywhere, Nick Frisbee.
Only 19 years of age, 21 on his back.
So Dom Shipley goes into outside centre.
Hooper has it at the back for the Brumbies. Short side, and it opens up. Here's White, dummying. Nick White gets it out to Hooper, and he can't control it. How many times have we seen the pass go to ground from the Brumbies?
Oh, Speight was looming too.
Oh, nice play, Nick White. Everything else was perfect.
On the short side. You watch the defence from the Reds. You watch Will Genia.
Come off.
I'm not sure who he was with defensively, but Genia was waiting back for the kick, and also Luke Morahan. Watch them switch and go wide. Genia stayed on Speight and shut down Nick White's option on the left-hand side.
And Greg Holmes comes on from Ben Daly, but it's been one of those nights for the Brumbies where those passes in recent weeks that have stuck, tonight they've gone to ground, and in carrying the ball into contact, they've turned it over too easily at times. They've been their own worst enemy.
20 turnovers so far for the Brumbies.
That's the stat that will make their coach Jake White the angriest.
Nick White's been sharp. George Gregan was down in Canberra on Tuesday working with him.
Davies across to Morahan. Mogg kicks for Speight to chase. There's plenty of air coming down for Rod Davies, and he takes it well. Pops it out to Genia. He just gets the kick away. Now Mowen off to Mogg.
Well done, Andrew Smith. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball tonight.
Limited opportunities for the outside centre. There's Hooper.
They're persistent about just chipping away close to the breakdown, the Brumbies.
They've got plenty of time left in this game. There's no urgency for them to score a runaway try.
Scott Fardy on there in 18. Tomane. Fardy. White. Now it's Hooper. Taken by Higginbotham. McCabe looks up and then has a go. Pat McCabe, he's got Speight, he dummies, he gets it out to Speight, and he is taken over the line by Shipley. No try.
What a ball from Pat McCabe.
You want action, that was plenty of it. It was still alive until the final sec. Pat McCabe has burnt Sam Lane easily on the outside, the test inside centre. Those 2 tackles were good. So too was that one. Speight was about to regather the ball and throw it down.
Well, Speight got left in the blocks. When Pat McCabe took off, Henry Speight was about 5 or 6 metres back. McCabe wanted him closer. That's why he had to hold the ball that little bit longer.
Oh, spectacular near miss.
Hansen. And Genia. Lane drops back into the pocket. Doesn't mess around with this one, puts it into touch. Up around about the 22-metre mark.
You can see the variety it gives you in defensive, working your way out of a defensive position, having a left and a right kicker in your back line. Sam Lane, left footer, naturally finding the touchline on his left side, but there's also Luke Morahan and others that are able to kick with their right foot. How do you think Sam Lane's gone tonight, Marto?
I think he's been quite good. As the game's gone on, he's played closer to the line, which has put the Brumbies under even more pressure.
What he's done well, as Bo Robinson comes off for a well-earned rest.
He's kicked well too.
Sam, he hasn't overplayed his hand. I knew McKenzie would have said that to him before the game. Just move the ball. Good line-out win for the Brumbies.
Eddie Quirk is on there to replace Bo Robinson, so another youngster, just 20 years of age, with 20 on his back for the Reds, but it's the Brumbies. And Stephen Moore breaks away now. They need to show something for the time in the opposition 22. Here's Hooper. Good tackle by Gill. Penalty. And here we go. We go to the pocket.
Is it Liam Gill?
Cynical.
Yeah, the ball came out and he kicked it away, Liam Gill. Now, for the next 10 minutes, the Reds are down to 14 men.
No, mate.
He's been wonderful tonight as well, Liam Gill.
This will be 17-6.
He has been wonderful, but that's a blemish that he wouldn't like on his scorecard when he looks back on this game. That was just a brain explosion.
Well, still only 19, Liam Gill, who's really disappointed last week. Saw him in the dressing shed after the game against the Western Force. The Brumbies now gaining some momentum in this match.
Plenty of time. That'll be the message. It keeps going out to them. Let's keep working our way down there and pick off points every time.
Another 3 points for Christian Lealiifano, so 17 points to 6.
Some pretty good guys running the water tonight, isn't it? For the Reds, Quade Cooper and Stephen Larkham, assistant coach for the Brumbies.
How did Liam Gill think he was going to get away with that then? Right in front of the referee. Every camera picked it up. You're right, Australia's best two fly halves in the last few years.
Going to sit in the naughty chair now for 10 minutes.
Nick White.
Oh, that's nice too, Nick White.
Reds want to play it on Genia.
Notice that Henry Speight has been replaced by another Fijian-born winger, Davita Grangrani. And he's got the ball now with 22 on his back, former Australian schoolboy.
And they rate him highly too. He was in the Reds Academy a couple of years ago. Oh, numbers.
Murphy, and there's that other little push pass that hasn't been handled, and Sam Lane looks up and he's got a bit of a cramp. I think Sam Lane, he was hobbling after towing that ball through, and here's Mogg. Gets the pass away, and that's forward.
And the crowd helped the referee out there. She looked pretty. A lot of them get played on. I think the crowd got into the touchy on the far side, the assistant referee, and he's called it.
Oh, the play beforehand, the Brumbies had 6 players outside
when the
they just
mistake came.
couldn't get the ball away.
That's gone
Forward.
Yeah, but out of his hands, it went backwards, didn't it?
Yeah, but great defensive pressure there from Nick Frisbee coming on, just really working hard, putting pressure on Jesse Mogg there to make that pass.
Yeah.
If that Red defensive player is not there, he can easily work his way back into the game, decide what option he wants to take. But the Reds' defensive pressure is now really starting to apply. With one man down, the Reds are really focusing on how they control this game.
Yeah, Matty Taylor, the defensive coach, has done a lot of work, especially after the last 3 weeks, leaking over 120-odd points.
134 in 3 games, something not to be proud of.
Genia with the put in. Good scrum from the Reds, but it's pretty awkward for Genia in the end. He couldn't pick it up cleanly.
Let's remember they're one man down in the scrum. They want to hang on to the ball for the next 8 minutes as long as they can.
And Hansen goes to ground. Moore steals it. Great work, Stephen Moore. And almost threw it away again, the Brumbies. Nick White. Into touch it goes.
Really good. Good work.
Good play from Stephen Moore. Knew how important that turnover was, right in front of his own goalpost.
And as the Reds slowly walk towards the line out, trying to, I suppose, eat up as much time as they can of the 10 minutes that Liam Gill's on the sideline for.
Well, every one of those forwards working a little bit harder. Quick line out, Higginbotham goes forward.
Genia out to Slipper. Hansen. Quick ball for Genia to Lane. Out the back door it goes. And the Brumbies have it. Hooper. Michael Hooper to White. Nick White. Well, Davies couldn't make the tackle. White gets it away. Carter.
It's a ruck, boys.
Now it's Power. Was that forward? The crowd thought so. It's play on. And Smith is there.
Oh, wonderful play from the Brumbies. They've still got numbers to the left if they can only get the ball.
It's slow coming out of there. Won't come out, and so
what a
the Reds
break.
managed to defuse the issue.
What a break from Nick White.
The first Hooper did well.
Hooper went through, gave a short ball. Hooper's been sensational in the 5 or 6 minutes he's been on. And Nick White inside. And you thought Rod Davies was going to make the tackle there. Slips off. Some lovely work. Sam Carter as well. Just couldn't get the quick ball from the next ruck. That was the pass.
Well, that one was
to
forward.
Ben Alexander. The crowd roared. Looked pretty flat. It was okay.
Brumbies are right in this.
Yeah, the difference with that passage of play there for the Brumbies was that they managed to treasure the football. They didn't take the panic pass and try and keep it alive at all costs. They know that they're still in this game. There's still a chance to plug away at this deficit at the moment and bring it back to even Stevens, if not take the lead.
If there's one word, it'd be patience just coming through from their trainers the whole time.
Anthony Hegarty's replaced Stephen Moore in the front row. So Jake White's really letting his bench come on to try and keep this momentum or build on it to get the Brumbies back into this game.
Bit of ice being applied to the ribs of the Brumbies hooker Stephen Moore, who's been replaced by Anthony Hegarty. Moore, 90th cap tonight. 47 of those for the Reds before moving to the Brumbies quite a few seasons ago.
That's the reverse Mayday, Marto.
Have a look at once again all the Brumbies on the open side.
Speight was off the field.
That's Kudrani behind him there.
Pause. Engage.
Nick White with the put in.
Stay down, Red.
Not a great pass though, Christian Lealiifano. Just had to turn up and that was forward. So, well, they botched that opportunity.
Oh, didn't they? Scrum got messy despite 8 on 7. I think the pass from White must have brushed one of the back rowers, did it?
The scrum got messy because Ben Daly slipped on his footing and managed to put his hand on the ground to work his way back into the scrum.
That pass is not forward. The one before was. That one went backwards. Referee tricked by a player being pushed backwards.
Rob Simmons replaced by Van Humphries. Bit of an age difference. Rob 22 and Van 36, playing his 74th game for the Reds or for Super Rugby. Put in by Genia. Tapperwhite. Here we go with this Reds kicking game, wanting to play it at the other end, and running onto it is Jesse Mogg.
Well, they want to do the same thing, the Brumbies.
And he goes high. Tomane chasing. It comes off the Reds, and it's gone backwards to Genia cleaning up.
Let it go, Red.
Oh, Michael Hooper's got that. Straight back turnover.
And it's Alexander. Gives it off to Tomane. Tomane almost running over, but he's away. Joe Tomane, his third try in his debut season for the Brumbies.
Oh, another missed tackle.
Gee, that's all he needs. The Brumbies just need some space out wide.
Turnover ball. Again, they went wide and they scored. That was how they beat the Highlanders 2 weeks ago.
Look out. Here they come, the Brumbies.
How did he get away?
Well, he squeezed through. Sam Lane didn't get a proper shoulder on him in defence. Ben Alexander gives it to Tomane.
Well, that's
So James Hansen.
almost an overrun, wasn't it?
Look at
1,
that.
2, 3. James Hansen.
Sam Lane and also Ed Quirk, I think. Was that the third defender?
Yeah, some tired defence there from the Reds, but Joe Tomane just fantastic on his feet and gives the Brumbies a real sniff with the kick to come.
Oh.
They are within touching distance of this Reds lead at the moment.
Brilliant work. Scored a couple 2 weeks ago. Intercept against the Highlanders. He's a big, strong running winger.
Well, we've been saying all night, if he can get the ball, he's very damaging. He's a great defender because he spent 3 years playing rugby league at the top level of the NRL.
He was with the Melbourne Storm and the Gold Coast Titans, but of course he played his rugby at Nudgee College, that wonderful nursery in Brisbane. New Zealand born, but played for the Australian schoolboys.
Well, when you got him and Kudrani, two big wingers, got to utilise them, but with a bit of space.
So Lealiifano looking to add the extra 2. And he will do it.
Gee, haven't we got a grandstand finish coming up now? The Brumbies are on a roll.
That was the spark that they needed. They've tried without success for 70 minutes of this game. But Joe Tomane's given them the belief that they can claim a great victory here at Suncorp Stadium, trailing by 4 points with 10 to go.
Well, has Jake White's game plan of starting Itavea at 7 for about 58 minutes of the game and then bringing on Michael Hooper and opening the game up?
17-13 and almost charged down.
I'll tell you one stat that has increased: the missed tackles. The Reds are now on 24. The second half, they've really started to open up. Brumbies have only missed 11 for the night.
Well, the Reds are falling off tackles. They're going in with their arms, not their shoulders.
Anything familiar about that from the last few weeks?
Anthony Hegarty, the throw, not straight.
You lose a bit of functionality when the reserves start to come on. A little bit of confusion there as to where that throw really needed to go. But Liam Gill, 20 seconds to go. He is itching. He has dropped his head every time the Brumbies have scored a point for the 10 minutes that he's been off this field. He knows he needs to come on and make up for that.
Well, the Brumbies have scored 10 points since he's been off the field, Liam Gill. It was 17-3 when he left the field for 10 minutes.
Oh, he's now going to have to wait until the next stoppage. Nothing worse than putting in overtime in the sin bin. Even on Good Friday, triple time.
Pause. Engage.
They get it out of there quickly, and Genia goes for a run, and he fires it out to Lane.
That's straight.
Tapawai needs to straighten.
Bit too much across field there. They still had the numbers.
Now it's James Horwell. Genia. Finds Shipley.
Sloppy, they're going to restart.
Genia. Crossed out to Hansen.
Keep an eye on those white boots of Michael Hooper, just hopping up now, number 19 tonight.
Keep an eye on the green boots of Shipley. He's been able to find the try line late in the games.
Well, there was nothing there for James Hall. He did well. Plenty of carries.
Oh, that's been a loose boot from the Red.
Penalty goes against the Reds.
Gee, they've been making some tackles, the Brumbies. Sam Carter.
One of his feet.
Ben Mowen's been everywhere.
Stay up.
It's nothing flashy. They're just doing the basics pretty well in 2012, the Brumbies, and they're in with a chance here. Every time they've trailed, or in fact twice they've trailed at half-time this year, and they have won both of those games.
Liam Gill's back on the field. Is that right, Cano? Yeah, there he is.
Back into the fray. So we've got 15 on 15 for the last 7.5 minutes.
The Brumbies upset the Reds last year, round 16 here. Can they do it again?
It's a better throw from Hegarty, and Lealiifano tries to crash through.
Well, there's a lot more urgency at the breakdown from the Brumbies now.
Alexander, and now the pick and go from Carter, but he loses it. It's gone straight down, and the referee says it was actually forward.
That was a hit by Greg Holmes, I think it was.
Yeah, I thought it was the tackle. The ball went straight down.
Holmes there, bang, underneath the ball, dislodged it.
But you could just see the directness that the Brumbies have brought to this game. The Reds, in their previous attacking play, were very lateral, sliding. Concerned Brumbies bench looks on, waiting to see how their team's going to deal with this outcome of the last 6.5 minutes. But the Brumbies were really direct. They're really trying to take the Reds on up the middle.
Brumbies only need 10 seconds to win this game.
Crouch.
Plenty of time.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Genia. Tapawai onto the left foot. He's not going to find touch. Into Mogg again.
Oh, nice ball.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Tomane. Such a dangerous counter-attacker.
That's okay. Didn't impede the defending side, the Reds.
Charge down. straight into the arms of Mowen. And now Andrew Smith back into his captain. And he offloads to Lealiifano.
Reds are getting lazy in defence.
White. Hooper.
Oh, Higginbotham. What a hit. They're going to try and keep Hooper up here. Higginbotham. Also Morahan.
He's latched onto him like a barnacle onto a ship, Higginbotham. Brumbies want to get it to the ground.
The turning point.
Yeah, you might be right, Tim. There, look at the heads. They're down now.
Higginbotham came in and blindsided him.
But very exact with the way he locked onto the ball. Look at that.
Got Hooper. Greg Holmes helped, but also Morahan.
Oh, they'd be talking, wouldn't they? Let's dance him. Let's dance him.
I can see him. Hooper's trying to pull him to the ground as well.
Remember, if you take it into a maul, you've got to use the ball. If you don't, the opposition team will get the put in, and that's what's happened.
They've got to kick with some purpose, the Reds. That last kick from Ben Tapawai just gives the ball back to the Brumbies. Mogg used it well.
Tapawai's behind Genia here on the left wing. So I can't help but think it may come this way.
Rod Davies just slotted in behind the scrum. Important for Sam Lane. He's been pretty solid in his debut. Just the game management in the next 4.5 minutes from him, but also Will Genia.
Oh, I'd say most of it will fall to Genia, won't it?
The Reds have beaten fellow Aussie teams, the Force and the Rebels, at this venue, Suncorp, this season. And if they can hold on here, it will be their first ever win over the Brumbies at Suncorp Stadium. Genia to Lane.
Oh,
there it is,
back to
kicking
Mogg
away
again.
Not too many chases. They're backing themselves.
And now Mogg doesn't execute that very well.
Brumbies have got to hold the ball, and they can snatch this game.
Kurandrani, the replacement winger. But he's lost it. Genia with the kick ahead. Shipley's going to fly. So too Morahan. Mogg's back there. Needs support though.
19-14.
Reds won't mind if the Brumbies put this out.
Andrew Smith with the kick.
Is that out?
Yes, it is, and they take it quickly. Frisbee throws it in.
Big chance over on the left.
Lane. He's going to kick across and just overcooked it. Lealiifano read it pretty well.
He could
Hands
have
with
called
the
a
go.
mark.
Yeah.
12.
Taken back. White keeps it in the field of play.
What can Frisbee do?
Lealiifano, Frisbee! Great chase.
It's normally the Frisbee being caught.
Holmes! Genia. Now Lane out the back, across it goes. Morahan to the 22. Pick and go. Shipley pulled down from behind.
He's rostered on. 3 minutes to go. He usually scores a try.
He is so dangerous in this situation. Now it's Gill. He's had a breather in the sin bin, remember.
Now there's some space out wide. Genia can't get it. He's hassled.
He's going to go to ground. Ivan trying to force the pass. Well done. Can the Brumbies hold them out? Can the Reds come up with a killer punch?
The Brumbies so far have got a bonus point because they're within 7.
Advantage being played.
Yellow card.
In the side.
Well, this will be interesting because James Horwell, does he want to close the game out? Does he want to go for touch and actually deny the Brumbies a bonus point?
Oh, I don't think he's caring about a bonus point or denying anything for the Brumbies. He just wants to win. And I think last week we were a little bit critical of James Horwell's decisions as the skipper in probably not treating the Force with the greatest of respect when they were in opportunities to take the points, but kicking for the corner. But the Reds just need to get a win. It doesn't matter how they get it. They just need to get back in the winner's circle.
Well, It's also going to eat some time up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is where you want Tomane and Mog. If this ball doesn't go through, 108-metre tries on the cards.
The Brumbies, it's really the turnovers, Marto, isn't it? It's hurt them. 27 turnovers in the match.
Twice as many as the Reds.
They had some promise, especially in the last 15 or 20 minutes, starting to get some momentum. But they left their run a little bit too late.
The Reds have fed 11 scrums, the Brumbies only 5. That indicates the number of errors the Brumbies have made. Crowd looking on with expectation.
And Lane.
Snotted it.
No problem. Flags are up. 20 points to 13. The Reds over the Brumbies.
He can hardly run, Sam Lane. Ewan McKenzie
The Hooters about to go. Hasn't got 10. Leave it alone, Reds, and it's all over.
A disappointing finish for the Brumbies, but listen to the roar at Suncorp. The Reds are back. (20 points to 13). The Reds over the Brumbies.